Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the World Conservation Forum, to this stage. All of you who are sitting here in person and those of you who are watching us online. As you can see behind me on the LED wall, our next topic is the power of youth. First, we begin with a video message from a climate activist you may heard of. She's well known. Some people call her the anti-Greta, but I would just call her an environmental activist, a young woman striving high. So there is a video message from Naomi Seibt.
Dear youth, children, teenagers, and young adults of the world. Now, more than ever in the current political climate, the young generation is so eager to involve themselves in the global discourse, in politics and in culture. And that ambition is very commendable. But with ambition comes responsibility and a goal to aim for. And you can't just throw a dart at a dartboard and expect to call it a win every time you hit the board, whether that be right in the middle or at the edge of the board. No, you need to be precise when you formulate that goal, and you need to understand what you're actually aiming for. And therefore today I'm going to talk about how you can find that purpose within yourself and how to be precise when you want to do some good in the world. My name is Naomi Seibt, and I have been labeled, mostly by the mainstream media, the anti-Greta Thunberg. And by that, I think they want to demonize me as some kind of anti-Christ, the opposite of a climate change religion, somebody who wants to destroy the planet or be selfish in their actions and not change their ways. But that's not the case. I would rather see myself as an antidote to a cult of irrationality and panic. There is no reason for us to panic. And that's the message that I want to convey, that there is hope for all of us and that things are not as bad as they may seem when you read the news and everybody is talking about natural disasters and the temperatures rising and CO2 being emitted by evil capitalists. Because the main thing that we need to focus on is where is the connection? Where's the connection between CO2 and global warming? And where's the connection between our contribution to the economy and nature? And are those in some kind of battle with each other? I don't think so. No, in fact, the statistics show that there is no reason to panic, because the more the economy thrives, the healthier we get as a society, the more we thrive on this planet, and the more we can invest in innovation to help nature, to preserve nature. We have to understand that we can't just romanticize nature as this perfect and pure state of existence. No, we need to protect ourselves from nature as well, because nature can be cruel and it can lead to natural disasters. We are not just doing bad for this planet. And when it comes to CO2, what does that even mean? CO2 is a natural gas that is not harmful to anything. And yes, of course, you might argue, what about the effects of CO2 in terms of the greenhouse gas effect? And can't that lead to some kind of catastrophic global warming that will kill the polar bears? No, because the greenhouse gas effect in itself is also something that is completely natural. Yes, not only us humans are contributing to the greenhouse gas effect as a whole in the air. In fact, most of the greenhouse gas effect in the atmosphere is caused by water vapor. Also, volcanoes are contributing to CO2 being emitted into the air, and natural CO2 makes up the majority of the greenhouse gas effect that is caused by CO2 alone. Like I said, mostly it's caused by water vapor, and then second comes CO2. But the amount of CO2 that is emitted by humans that contributes to this greenhouse gas effect, that is minuscule. And is it all bad? Is it bad when it gets warmer? No, it's not, because we humans have been struggling for hundreds of years much more with colder climates. And the warmer it gets, the better, the healthier our society has gotten already. And it's not the case that we are starving because of droughts. No, of course, the media likes to cherry pick and show you statistics of, oh, it's getting so dry in this area and it's getting so hot in this area. But the reality is, those are just events in small areas, but you need to look at the whole planet, and you need to look at the global mean surface temperature and the average of global natural disasters. Whether or not they are even caused by humans is a different question, and I would argue that no, because we as humans shouldn't overestimate the impact that we can even have. We are not gods, and we should not see ourselves as gods who can control the climate. No, we can't. Nature is much stronger than we think. And of course, we interfere with nature. And of course, we need to be in touch with nature, and we need to, in many ways, revert back to our natural ways. But that's the whole point. If you want to help nature, if you want to preserve nature, you need to understand nature. You need to form a real connection with nature. Not just follow mainstream news about disasters and about global warming, which you don't even quite fully understand. Learn how to read studies and explore the science instead of following leaders and media and experts who have been deemed experts by the same people who have no idea about science in the first place. A politician doesn't know science. How can a politician understand who can be labeled an expert in the media? That doesn't make sense. And why do we censor people who want to offer an alternative perspective, like myself? But I am a 21-year-old. I am basically just telling you what I've learned from many countless professors and scientific experts. Why do you not hear from them? Because they are being censored. YouTube just recently announced that they were going to censor all videos and demonetize them that claim that climate change is not real, or that it must not be taken seriously, or anything in that regard. But I'm not here to tell you to stop worrying about nature and about the animals or anything like that. No, I love nature. And I think that there are many ways that you can improve your own connection and relationship with nature. Like, for example, all the processed food and dietary recommendations that are being thrown at us, those are horrible. No, you should support local farmers. You should see how your food grows and how farmers treat nature, how people who are actually working with nature on a daily basis, how they are experiencing nature. Most of us don't even go out in the sun enough anymore, especially with the recent pandemic. We are closed at home. We are closed in our rooms at home, and we don't consider the actual impact that we have on this planet just by reading a tweet about global warming or listening to a speech from a climate activist. Those climate activists are not scientists. And that's not how you do your research. I encourage you to do your research not just by following one way of looking at things, but rather by comparing sources, by going out and having conversations with real people, by asking very critical questions, by maybe challenging yourself and just for fun, just exploring an idea that you have nothing to do with, that you think is completely out there. Maybe somebody who's deemed a climate denier. Listen to their perspective, and maybe they have more to tell you than you thought in the first place. Maybe there's more science behind it than you thought. And maybe then you will develop a passion for science as well. Because I have been in touch with many climate activists, and I asked them, what is your perspective on the science? Have you done your research? Can you explain to me the climate models that the IPCC has put out there? Can you explain to me where the connection between CO2 and rising sea levels and disasters and climate phenomena, where there is this connection that everybody is talking about? Can you explain that to me? And how strong is the connection? That is the more important part. How much of an impact do we really have? Is there a certain factor that you can put on it? Can we even with climate models predict that factor? Or is nature way too complex for us humans to just put it in some kind of computer game? And the answer that I got from most climate activists was, that's not my personal goal. I just want to promote the message. I'm the ambassador. And I tell people, follow the science, follow the experts. But how did you choose the experts? That's not how it works. And you would never treat any of your other passions like that. At least I hope so. If you've ever been into drawing or playing the piano or any of your other hobbies, you wouldn't treat them like that. You would delve into whatever you're passionate about. Maybe it's a video game. If you're excited about a video game or some kind of game or book, then you really delve into it and you want to understand everything about the characters and how to maneuver yourself in that fictional world and how you can apply it to your own life. That's how you should treat issues like climate science and nature and the economy and politics. Statements like, I want to save the climate. What does that even mean? The climate is an abstract concept that does not need saving from you. Or statements like, I want to promote social justice. What is social justice? Who needs to be saved? Many social justice advocates talk about minority groups like Black people, women, transgender people, the LGBT community. All of that is fine and commendable and sounds so romantic and nice. But shouldn't we be more worried about individuals? Shouldn't we interact much more with individuals rather than talking about whole groups? This whole groupthink removes us from forming personal bonds with real people. And that's so sad, especially in this day and age. The effect that social media has on our health, on our mental health, is disastrous. You scroll through Instagram and you see all those perfect bodies and faces. All of that, most of it is fake. And you know that deep down. But you are much more than just a product. You are much more than an advocate for politicians who want to use you as their pawns, as their surface level poster girls and boys that they can use to get voters for themselves. No, you should follow your own goals. You should understand your own passions and you should pursue something that is meaningful, not something that is trendy. And I hope that I can encourage you to become a stronger you, but not by trying to change the world, but first of all, by trying to change your own relationship with your closest environment, by taking responsibility for your actions, by learning to stand up for yourself and for your best friends, learning how to be a good friend, a good daughter, a good son, a good sister or brother or mother or father in the future. That's much more important, being kind to the people around you, treating animals with compassion, rather than abstractly thinking about how to save animals on the other side of the world by reducing your own CO2 emissions by not driving your car. There is no connection that it could be ever as close as dealing with individuals on a personal level. And it doesn't make you a better person to throw tweets and statements about global warming, climate change, and the apocalypse, and us humans dying in 12 years from now because of the economy, because of evil capitalists. All of those statements are so abstract, and you don't even understand what you're talking about when you just repeat those empty statements that you're told you need to repeat for good grades, for a good social status. Become a good person by being a good you. And don't stop educating yourself. Never stop being curious. And don't be too harsh on yourself either. You have so much potential if you explore it. You don't have to put yourself down for not being there yet. You don't have to be this huge, big person who changes the world right now. You need to learn first, to then change something bigger. But you're already doing something very, very big by just helping and being a good person in your own circle. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you can stay strong and be a good advocate in your own life. All the best from me, Naomi Seibt, the antidote to irrationality, and somebody who wants to inspire hope, because panic will persist until we resist.